Good evening and welcome to the news hour. I'm Madhavdas Gopalakrishnan. Ladies and gentlemen, time and again attempts have been made by some to shield those who continue to hurt Bharat. From Karnataka to Kashmir, the story is no different. Now, the lobby wouldn't even blink an eye before questioning our own men in uniform. Today, Karnataka Congress leader DK Shivakumar has alleged that the cooker blast in an auto rickshaw in Mangaluru last month might have been a mistake. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the National Investigation Agency is probing the Mangaluru blast, and Karnataka DGP Praveen Sood has already confirmed the blast was an act of terror. However, DK Shivakumar believes that this was a mistake. Not just this, he's even asked that how could the agencies call the passenger carrying the cooker bomb a terrorist without a probe. The accused in this case, Sharik, is suspected to have links with the Islamic State, but the Congress leader continues to argue that the bomb blast might have been projected in a different light. Listen in.
You tell me, you said there is a big terrorist. Who are the terrorists? Please let me know. What action you have taken? Who has declared? Who was the DG to declare himself that is a terrorist? Or Pulwama or anything? Nothing is there. Some fellow might have done some mistake, we don't tell. But how we are trying to project it?
Why do you think the government was doing that?
Why? Because the vote gate, they wanted to steal the votes in the history of Indian politics.
Now, DK Shivakumar, ladies and gentlemen, is a senior leader of the Congress party. He heads the Karnataka unit of the party, but his controversial statements have in the past often made headlines. This time, DK Shivakumar appears to have crossed the line. However, he's also issued a clarification. Listen in.
Where the big
the BJP is behind it, sir?
Yes, see, they just tried to blow it. They should have done an investigation, fair investigation. Let them do it. Let them act. Let them punish. Let them hang whomever they want. When things of the entire vote system was being under theft, they just tried to deviate. There was no need of the DG or the police reacting to it. There is a system.
The BJP says that DK Shivakumar has a habit of making loose and irresponsible statements and that he must apologize.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕೆ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಇದೊಂಥರ ಸಿಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂಥರ
ಅವರು ಅಗ್ರವಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಅವರ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನೇನು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಆಗಿ
ಬೇಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ.
What more they can appease? Every day they appease the minority or one or the other section of the vote, but still they are unable to get the votes. But at least he should have some concern about the people of Karnataka who have made him MLA and minister several times in the past. Have some gratitude, Mr. DK Shivakumar.
The matter and the probe has been transferred to the NIA. The NIA is investigating the matter. Even before a clean check can be given by the agencies, why is the Congress party so eager to give Islamist terror a clean check? Why is the Congress party having such double standards, and why is the Congress party soft on terror is the question that needs to be asked.
Now, viewers, this terror appeasement isn't limited just to Karnataka. Let's now make you listen in to what has been stated by PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti after the Pulwama administration ran a bulldozer over the house of wanted terrorist Mohammed Ashiq Nengroo. In fact, this is on encroached land that he had built his house. However, when asked questions, Mufti said, "बहुत हो गया."
जो मिलिटेंट्स के खिलाफ जो एक्शन हो रहा है
बहुत हो गया, इसको वही वो ड्रॉक यूज ज्यादा करना है।
जो मिलिटेंट्स के खिलाफ जो एक्शन हो रहा है
बहुत हो गया, इसको वही वो ड्रॉक यूज ज्यादा करना है।
That brings us to the legitimate question that we are asking this evening. Are we politicizing terror at India's cost?
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Sticking across to our guest joining us, we have with us Rakesh Sinha, who's the Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament. With us also is Ratan Sharda, author. Arsan Singh is an author as well, joining us on the broadcast. We have with us Dr. Sumanth Raman, political analyst. Kamru Choudhury is a leader of the Congress party. Sanjay Jha, author, is also with us. We also have Majid Hydari, political analyst, joining us. Let me start with you, Dr. Sumanth Raman. Let me ask you this. You know, there is an incident that has taken place in Mangaluru. There are recoveries that have been made. All of this is a matter of public record. The individual concerned, as you very well know, traveled to different states and different jurisdictions from Kerala to Tamil Nadu. All of that is a matter of public record. Now, if the DGP of the state who's a responsible officer, we're not talking about some junior officer here, if he says that he believes there is a terror link to it, at face value at least, shouldn't that statement be taken? Of course, an investigation is required. Of course, due process of law is required. But to come out and say that an act of terror is something that is being politicized, isn't that really a disservice at the end of the day?
Madhav, I think you have to look at the statement in the context of what has been happening over the last several years. As you know only too well, there have been a large number of people who have been picked up on terrorism charges, kept in jail for several years, who have then been acquitted by the courts. Now, I don't have to go into the list is long. The point is that the courts are the ones who decide whether somebody has indulged in an act of terrorism or not. The role of the police is to, whether it is the NIA or whether it is the state police, is to fundamentally carry out an investigation, ascertain the facts, file a charge sheet and bring the person to trial. And unfortunately, we have this tendency where, particularly where some communities are involved, we are very eager to jump in and call people terrorists. And much before the
Sumanth Raman, let me stop you right there. This has not got anything to do with community. Please, just 1 second. If by your logic, sir, by your logic, please, we are all reasonable people here. By your logic, when 26/11 happened, Ajmal Kasab is caught alive and we should have waited for the trial to be completed to call him a terrorist. What kind of logic are we talking here, sir? Here is a person who has been caught. He's been caught red-handed. There is prima facie evidence. Nobody is saying that you're short-circuiting the court process, but an accused is an accused, and a terror accused should be at least above politics.
No, Madhav, I just fail to understand your argument at all. Now, if, as you say, the facts speak for themselves, based on what the police say. Now, for instance, the police have said this man has travelled from one state to another, he has been here, he has been there, and so on. Now, that is information that the police have got on the basis of the investigation they have carried out so far. Now, did he go to these places to do reconnaissance for terror acts? We don't know. We don't know what the facts of the case are. What we know is that a cooker bomb did explode, and in Mangaluru. Now, beyond that, we need the NIA to piece together the investigation.
Well,
and I
just
don't
for the
see
record,
what the necessity is.
Just for the record, let me just read out. Let me just read out what the DGP of the state has said. Because you have put in certain questions. Fine, you do not believe the police. It's your prerogative. Nobody can force anybody to believe anyone. It's a democracy. But I'm just reading out. I'm going to allow the viewers to make up the mind before I go across to the next spokesperson, because I want to just read out. I want to read out specifically what has been stated by the state DGP, Mr. Praveen Sood. He said that a burnt pressure cooker with batteries were recovered from the site. The blast is not accidental, but an act of terror, a plan to target some. It was a low-intensity bomb with an intention to cause serious damage. There was an attempt to disrupt communal harmony and an attempt to bring out a divide among different religions. If this is stated by the topmost police officer of a state, then certainly at some level many would ask, why is it that a senior leader a senior opposition leader of a big national political party is not taking that at face value? Maybe he has reasons, but I want to bring in Rakesh Sinha, Member of Parliament and BJP spokesperson, to respond to you on that. Sumanth Raman has several questions. He's saying, Mr. Sinha, that whatever has been stated by the police, let them prove it in a court of law. How can we assume that he's a terrorist?
That I am not saying it. That is the process. I'm not saying it.
Sure, you just said it, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, sir. Listen to the response now.
No, it's not what. It's not my opinion. That's the law.
It is really unfortunate that people like. Now, should I speak?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, Mr.
It is very unfortunate that intellectuals are defending something indefensible. Have you heard such debates in America? Have you heard such debates in United Kingdom? No, not at all. There is debate on internal security, but people are not divided and fractured on the question of the safety of the people and the integrity of the country. It is not the question of one single exceptional statement of Congress leader in Karnataka. I am connecting with the statement of Sonia Gandhi when there was a Batla House incident. She wept for whom? Not for the martyr, Mr. Mohan Chand Sharma. She wept for the terrorists. Just I'm connecting with Mr. Digvijay Singh, a senior Congress leader, now Rajya Sabha member. That time he was a general secretary of the party. He connected the 26/9 blast, the incident which struck the nation with the 26. There was a 26/11. There was a book release of Aziz Barni, was the editor of the then Rashtriya Sahara Urdu edition, and he released the book. Now, he endorsed. A leader of a ruling party endorsing that 26/11 was not the handiwork of Pakistan, but it's an internal problem. Now you come to the Karnataka things. When the Congress people say that nothing happened, they drop these charges, police is doing excesses, when you communalize and politicize the internal security, you are breaching your limit. We all have limits. We may be parliamentarians, we may be public figures, but there is a limit for breaching our limitations. What they are doing? They are questioning the police, they are questioning the NIA, they are questioning the ATS. This means when you start questioning, you are doing the trial by politicians in the public. You are creating a confusion. You are giving dignity to such people, legitimizing the criminals. And by connecting with the communal issues, what Suman is doing here, you are giving fodder to the terrorist. They find the support base in a particular community.
Okay.
A terrorist is a terrorist. Don't connect with the community.
Okay.
I'm just asking a question to the Congress people and the Sumanth Raman. Have you heard that Congress people welcome the ban on Popular Democratic Front? PDF?
Okay.
Have you heard? Have you heard the left parties have welcomed the ban?
Okay.
So this is a communal politics, a group of politicians and the political parties. They are trying to communalize the internal security. And just last statement. After 2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji ensured the nation that you are zero tolerance against the terrorism. That we have before. Before 2014, there were blasts in temples, blasts in mosques.
Okay.
Blasts in
let me come down to the simple point. You know, it all boils down to appeasement is a question that is coming here, Kamru Choudhury, because what Mr. Sinha is stating. I'm going to come to you, Mr. Raman, please. There are others as well. Let me quickly go across to all the others on the panel. But Mr. Choudhury's simple question is this: that ultimately it boils down to appeasement. We have seen public statements by leaders of opposition parties that show that their sympathies are not with those who have given up their life defending the country, but those who are actually terrorists. That's a statement coming in from the BJP spokesperson. Please respond to it.
Yeah, I agree 100% with our learned MP from the Bharatiya Janata Party and the RSS that the internal security of the country has been communalized. There is no doubt about it. The entire ecosystem has been clouded. You know, the entire, the administration rather, or the entire system has been clouded in such a way that anybody is suspicious of the system right now because of the obvious bias. Madhavan, I'll just take half the time that Professor Saab has taken. Let me just show you some raw data from the NCRB, which says in the last 7 years, 10,552 Indians have been arrested under the UPA, but only 253 have been convicted till 2021. Now you say about appeasement and I say that UAPA has become a tool for majority appeasement. Now why is this?
Who brought in the UAPA amendment, sir?
Is labeled as
when was the UAPA brought in? And when was it amended?
The 2019 amendment, who brought in?
No, before that there was no UAPA in the country.
Give me the half the time that Professor Shabejan. Let me finish. Why I am saying this? A student is labeled a terrorist Kassab by his own teacher for belonging to a particular community. A religious congregation during COVID was labeled as a super spreader just because of their religious
Mr. Choudhury, I think we are spreading this debate too far. Simple question to you and to Mr. Shivakumar. Is there anything to prove that this person has been wrongly prosecuted or that he is innocent or the police has committed any excess? Is there anything to point out in this particular case or any reason to believe that this person is not a terrorist? Let's bring that to the fore. Otherwise, this debate is entirely futile. On what basis is Mr. DK Shivakumar making such outlandish claims?
No. This is nothing outlandish. He is just echoing the thought process what is happening in the system right now.
But thought
in
process
India.
has to be based on
Don't
facts,
try to
sir.
stereotype
It cannot be
such
driven by
incidents and
opinion.
Vilify a particular community.
Sir, thought process
Yeah,
cannot be
I
in
have
the
given
public
you the
domain.
facts
If
of
you're
the
making
NCRB
comments, they
data,
have to be
you cannot
responsible.
blind.
Otherwise, anyone
Your
from their
editorial
thought process
policy
will start
cannot be
making
so
comments which are
blind to make it
completely
biased.
unjustifiable, Mr. Choudhury. And I want to bring in Ratan Sharda. Mr. Ratan Sharda, this is a rather bizarre argument that this is a thought process that Mr. DK Shivakumar is reflecting. Facts on ground may or may not actually, prove this particular thought process, but he is entitled to make these comments. The simple question, sir, that I'm asking over here is that what are the facts that actually merit this kind of an argument or debate? Is there anything at all? Mr. Ratan Sharda.
Well, people have a right to have minority politics, minority appeasement politics. That's fine. That's their outlook for last 70 years. I have no problem. Problem is you start using that minoritism to create a different kind of narrative about terrorism. When you compromise on the issue of national security, that is when the problem starts. It is something new. Before 2014, people who were arrested for terrorism were all Hindus. Is it so? Were the names of the terrorists like Ram, Vishnu, Lakshman, etc. before 2014? We do not know. But we do know that this particular government had messed up Malegaon blast when two parallel cases, unheard of anywhere in the world, two parallel cases, one against one bunch of Muslim accused, other against Hindu accused, cases which are not filed for 6 years. And we have that 1889 Coimbatore blast, where entire ecosystem from Congress to Communists to Muslim League, everybody supported bail for Madani, who was the chief accused for Coimbatore blast in 1989. We had, of course, we of course had this Malegaon and Ajmer blast, which was testified by Simi chief under the test that it was their work, and US provided evidence that it was Pakistan work. But we had our great people creating a Hindu terror story, and then they have the issue of Afzal Guru being wrongly hanged or maybe prematurely hanged by that time Home Minister. So when these kind of things happen, what do you tell them? That is the problem with the entire narrative of these people. If the accused has a certain name, should police stop taking the name? And before 2014, they said people are in the jail for long years. Just a moment, Mr. Choudhury. Just a moment. Did I stop you? Did I stop you speaking? Can you let me complete?
Okay. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time, gentlemen. The others who have yet not spoken. Mr. Choudhury, please. The others yet to speak. Please, let's not interrupt. We have limited time. I will not allow this. Others have to lower faders. Please, don't make me do that. Mr. Sharda, please complete your point.
Who were the people who were let out of the jail after 6 or 8 years? It was under Congress government that these Muslim youth were arrested and they released. Either your investigation was shoddy or your investigation was wrong or it was purposefully wrong.
Okay.
We do not know. So don't try to blame the police for the political exploitation of terror for your own purposes.
All right. Mr. Sanjay, there's a very interesting observation over here. Apart from the various instances that have been cited by Rakesh Sinha, that have been cited by Ratan Sharda, there's also a simple question in this point. You know who is asking? It's not just the BJP who is asking Mr. DK Shivakumar. Even the JDS is asking. What does Mr. Shivakumar have to substantiate these claims? And what is there? Nobody has been able to explain why he has these sudden doubts, apart from the timing, apart from the fact that yes, there is also something else happening in the state, and he's alleging that this is some kind of attempt to cover up. There is nothing material to suggest that what the police have done or the administration have done is wrong. Is there?
Madhav, enough has been said on the subject by many of your panelists earlier. And I think we'll have to wait for the NIA investigation to establish whether Mr. DK Shivakumar's allegations are true or otherwise. But since there is a lot of talk about institutions on this program, let me just remind you, and I'm sure many viewers will already be aware, of what Special Public Prosecutor Rohini Salian, who in an affidavit named the NIA officer, who told her that kindly go soft on the Malegaon 2008 blast case. So let me tell Mr. Sharda, Mr. Sinha, and anybody else in the next couple of minutes of the program who defend the government that today they have infiltrated the institutions to push an agenda of the Hindutva lobby. I mean, that's a fact that cannot be denied. I think we're all adults here, and let's not even try and pretend that it does not exist. Point number 2, Madhav. End of day, we all know about Tejasvi Surya's apologies and the kind of allegations he made recently. on Muslims, very directly on Muslims. And then he apparently apologized. Today, as Karnataka heads to the elections in a couple of months, there is huge anti-incumbency in Karnataka. Trust me, Madhav, I keep a lot in touch with people out there. And the BJP, unless the Congress does some harakiri, is almost destined to lose. Therefore, you will find coastal Karnataka, the RSS and the BJP will raise the communal temperature. It's just the way they operate.
No, but that's exactly the argument. The problem, Sanjay Jha, is that BJP is saying it is appeasement this way by the Congress party. You will say that it is the other way by the BJP. That's a political argument. The point is, when it comes to terror, is this the kind of politics that we want to see? We are a country that has, our Congress party itself has lost 2 prime ministers to terror. We have seen horrific attacks like the parliament attack, like 26/11, and yet we cannot build consensus when it comes to a crackdown on terror. Why is it that in the spirit of bipartisanship, we cannot, at least leave terror cases untouched? Why does even that have to be politicized?
Madhav, just one line. Mr. Sharda and Mr. Sinha don't even seem to have heard of a lady from Bhopal who happens to be a member of parliament, who by the way celebrates Nathuram Godse, who assassinated Mahatma Gandhi, and who by the way is a terror accused called Pragya Singh Thakur, and that she's a BJP MP. I mean, how can Mr. Sharda with a straight face kind of just bludgeon all of us with bluff? This is not the way you can have a civilized conversation.
Okay, you pose a simple question to Mr. Sharda. Quick response to Mr. Sharda, then I go to Arsan Singh. Quick response from Mr. Sharda.
Single argument. I already made that argument for 6 years. It was NI under Congress. It was government of Congress who could not file a charge sheet. Why are you blaming others? Why you did not file charge sheet for 6 years, Mr. Jha? And you are blaming Salian or somebody? Where was your NI? Where was your all political power at that time? Respond to that. You can keep on telling that Salian said this and that. She was under you for 6 years. No charge sheet. Remember whether Pragya or whether Colonel Purohit. And you know how Colonel Purohit case is now slowly getting unraveled by the very people who are telling how he's a friend. You should be ashamed that your government brave military person.
Mr. Sharda,
he
we
was
all know.
Given salary
No,
those
we are
years
fully
by
aware.
the same government, by the same army.
Okay, Mr. Sharda, you're fully aware why witnesses turn hostile. I think, Mr. Sharda, let's not
Just
try and pull wool over people's eyes.
Why you did not
there is
file
a
charge sheet?
clear agenda
Tell me
of the
why you did
BJP
not
and
file
the
charge for 6
RSS
years?
to subvert the
6 years,
criminal
Mr.
justice
Jha.
system.
6
By the way,
years,
can you
no
answer
charge
the
sheet.
allegations that have appeared?
I
1
am
minute,
asking
Mr.
you to
Sharda.
answer the
1 minute,
allegation.
Mr. Sharda. I'm asking you to explain.
Who are you to ask me?
I'm asking
I
you to
asked you
explain.
For
Why
6
is
years,
Father
why there was no
Swami
charge sheet?
not being
It was
addressed
your
by the
NI, your
I'm
government.
asking
You started Hindu terror
what
story.
happened to
Why there
Father
was no charge sheet?
Swami's computer?
Why Colonel
What is
Purohit
computer's
was
bag?
You
No,
have
no,
any
there is a
answer to
public
that?
report. You
Don't
please
ask
answer
me
the
question. Answer.
Don't
Prior
try
to
and
2014,
my
what
voice
did
here.
you do?
All right.
Did you take action
No,
against
Madhav, I insist
for
on
talking
asking
of
you to
RSS Sajish
You cannot
26/11?
railroad
You
discussion.
did not.
What?
You
Mr.
save those
Sharda,
people, protect those people who
please tell
create
me,
wrong bogey of
was
RSS
the
terror,
computer
Hindu
of
terror.
Father Stan
You
Swami
come here,
hacked?
sound very
Was the computer
sagely, you
of
tell me
Father
all
Stan
this.
Swami
What
hacked?
did you do?
All right,
Why
all right,
RSS
gentlemen.
6 years?
I think we have others who have yet not spoken. Let's quickly let me just lower the faders for just a minute. There, number of hands going up, gentlemen. I'm going to come to each of you, but I want to go across to Arsan Singh first. Arsan Singh, the question is this: that ultimately, in our political class, and this is something that we see repeated from Karnataka to Kashmir. There are several such instances that have been, referred to by other panelists. The point is that ultimately, it's easiest to politicize a terror case. It's just so simple in political season, isn't it? And is it really surprising given that there are elections due in Karnataka in 5 months?
No, any jihadi terror attack takes place anywhere in India. It is not because of local grievances, right? Therefore, it is not a law and order problem. They are inspired by Ghazwa-e-Hind, they are Ghazwa'd by Caliphate. And if you think this vote bank, that, and let me not say other community and this, that, I don't indulge in that kind of English. I'm talking about, the Muslim community which they are targeting. And the votes they are targeting, if they think that these votes are going, they are getting, because the ISRO has sent a rocket in the space, or, Agni 5 has been fired, or a very good road has been built, I'm sorry. You are getting road, you are getting those votes, majority of those votes that you are, because what you are doing for that community in pursuance of Ghazwa-e-Hind and Caliphate. Now you have this gentleman who was talking about, the communal atmosphere. Pakistan, एक बात बताइए कि जब पाकिस्तान नहीं था तब 1921 में मोपला रिबेलियन में क्या हुआ था? Wasn't that rebellion about Caliphate? Even when Pakistan was not, the direct action was in Calcutta. और ये क्या? What this, untruth we are peddling? That tell me one period in this century, one decade in the last century when there was communal harmony in this country. Now you tell me, isn't this man aware that there was an organization called Karnataka Dignity Forum, which merged in Popular Front of India, and Popular Front of India came all the way to Shaheen Bagh, and it had jihadis from all over the country, including Kashmir.
Right.
And now you are questioning the investigative agencies. You asked this gentleman who, I don't know, from Congress. अच्छा, एक और बात इन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बोली. ये Nathuram Godse did something horrible. He went against the law and he was hanged. But tell me one thing. Should Nalini be hanged by the same yardstick? She blew the Prime Minister of this country into smithereens.
Respond to that, Mr. Kamru Choudhury. Respond to that.
Take a stand today.
Respond to that, Mr. Choudhury.
Madhav, this is total fear-mongering by Mr. RSM and this should not be allowed on the national television, and that too on your show. This is not fair when a particular community is vilified because of the actions of a few. Now let me cite a Yashwant Shinde.
I am not vilifying any community.
Yashwant Shinde and RSS.
Suniye.
And RSS
You tell me, you condemn the
also claim that he was told by a senior VHP leader about television. You tell the entire country that you condemn the concept called Caliphate. You are a biased, hate-monging bigot in the television.
Mr. Listen,
whoever you are a hate-mongering bigot on television.
Gentlemen, let's I just want to come in here. I don't want to reduce this to the level of a street fight. There are some very serious issues, Mrs. Choudhury. You do not have answers to that, or anyone. Let's not reduce it to a name-calling show, please. I don't want to do that. But before, there are very serious issues over here at hand. There is political accountability also that our politicians need to have with this kind of responsible roles. They also have to be careful about what they say. And that's precisely the reason we are having this debate. This is not for name-calling. It's not to, in any way spread any disaffection against any community or any one political party. But yes, politicians have to be responsible and accountable for the statements they're doing. And having said that, in the spirit of that, I want to ask a question of Majid Hydari. Majid Hydari, there is a terrorist. There is a terrorist whose house is demolished because it's on encroached land. What is the difficulty for Mehbooba Mufti to come out and openly condemn that? When asked a question, is it because it does not conform with her healing touch policy, the policy of going soft on terror? Why does she get so irritated? कि बहुत सवाल पूछ लिए when a question is even asked of a terrorist and of a land that has been encroached upon, even it's clearly in violation of the law of the land.
Well, Madhav, firstly, I fully agree with Honorable Member Parliament on the show who said that we need to be united on terror. And here I hope that Bulldozer Baba Maharaj grants his vardhan to the central government to let the Indian Army use bulldozers to demolish the encroachments which the Chinese have made on the LAC from Pangong to Tawang. So that is something more important for me from the terror perspective, because I look at Chinese incursions as an act of terror. It's a psychological terror for me. I feel terrorized all the times Chinese venture into my territory.
Okay, Chinese Tanzims, that's a new one.
I'm not here to defend any terrorists.
You're entitled to your view, but Chinese terror is a completely new one. I've never heard of this before, but thank you so much for enlightening us.
I feel psychologically terrorized by these incursions. Now, coming to the point of terrorism, see, I am not here to defend any terrorists or terrorism or any wrong utterances of any politicians. But yes, the constitution of our country does not debar a terrorist from his property holdings. He holds the right to his
Coming to you, Mr. Singh, one second, let him make his point.
He is convicted as being a terrorist. This is law. If you want to be go for an extrajudicial kind of bulldozing, let you do it, but that won't be in symphony with the law, and I believe in law, so I'll stand with law and I'll condemn anything which is extra.
Even if somebody has encroached on land, even if it is encroached land, you think that property should not be demolished, even if it is encroached land.
It is to be decided by honorable court of law.
Okay. Legal processes are being scuttled. The terrorist is also entitled to his legal right. Mr. Harrison Singh, please respond to Majid Aidri.
No, I just asked the gentleman. I'm sure he will condemn the terrorism being perpetrated by China on Uyghur Muslims. Does he condemn it? Just ask him.
MashaAllah, sir, very much. I totally agree with you on this. We need to condemn it. We need to condemn all terror, be it the one Yashwant Shinde in his petition before CBI has spoken about, or what Hemant Karkare had spoken about.
अरे भाई मैं चाइना की बात कर रहा हूँ
सर, मैंने चाइना को भी कंडेम किया, भागवत को भी कंडेम किया, सब
चाइनीज
उइगर नाम लेने में इतना डर क्यों है माजिद हैदरी? उइगर का नाम लेने में इतना डर क्यों है? आप तो सीधा हिंदू टेरर पे पहुंच जाते हैं.
His masterminds to Nalini everything, but the problem is that somewhere our law is weak that those who assassinated former Prime Minister.
Sir, you just said you're very scared of China. Why not Chinese states' acts of oppression? Why have those been forgotten? Why is it so difficult to articulate that? I think that's a fair question.
My government is doing big business with them. We have reached $100 billion business.
The other gentleman doesn't.
So you will not mention Uyghur. So you will not mention the atrocities in Uyghurs.
Chinese. These are the people I'm debating with. God save you.
No, what is the problem? I said my government is
he does not condemn the why his gentleman sitting in the he does not condemn the Chinese for terrorism in this way.
Sir, why is my government not condemning that? Why is my government giving more business to Chinese? Please let me know who built that Statue of Unity. Why was that contract given to the Chinese? Why are Chinese
you don't belong to any government except that imaginary caliphate.
All right, I just want to ask. I want to get
you have no country.
I want to bring this away. I want to bring this away.
To the Ummah, you have no country.
All right, I want to bring this away from the subject of China. We have veered way too far from this topic of discussion. But Rakesh Sinha, simple question to you. The argument coming in from the Karnataka Congress, which in fact none of our panelists really referred to, is that they say this is some kind of a diversionary tactic from a vote gate scam that has been reported from the state of Karnataka. They say just a few days after that this incident took place, and that is allegedly what DK Shivakumar is the reason that he says that this kind of politics is being played out in the name of terror. That's the allegation from Mr. Shivakumar and the Congress party. I want you to respond to that point, Mr. Sinha.
You know one thing which nobody can disagree, that pre-2014, while going to market or temple or mosque or riding on train, we are uncertain about our life. Because the terrorism has no timing fix. It is not an organized and scientific thing. It is by those people who want to create disharmony and disintegration. But post-2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji took the reins in New Delhi, we are there is certainty which it prevails, whether it is Karnataka, Assam, Jammu Kashmir, Punjab or New Delhi. Another point is that they are questioning that people are being arrested and they are kept in trial. I am asking a question. Prime Minister Modi ji was not the Prime Minister then when TADA was a law. TADA was between 1985 to 1997. During these 12 years, there are 20,000 cases registered. After that, 13,000 cases were dropped. Still, there were 7,000 cases.
Okay.
Ultimately, remained 784 cases.
Okay.
The number of arrests were in thousands. Was it a communal move? Was it a state bias?
Okay. I want Suman to respond to that. Suman, very quickly. We're almost out of time. I think that's a fair point. If there are laws like TADA that have been brought in by previous regimes, why is UAPA being objected to or being called a communal law? There are unlawful activities that happen in this land, and unfortunately, in certain extreme cases, we do need strong laws there.
We definitely do need strong laws against terrorism. That's a no-brainer. What that law is called is a different issue altogether. My point is, look at the conviction rates under the law. What are the conviction rates between 2016 and 2019? the overall conviction under UAPA laws were something in the region of 2.2%. Then more recently, there's a report which says that the conviction rate is now 6%.
Right.
Thousands of people are being arrested and they are being put into prison and they are being labeled, given the label of terrorists, only to be released by the courts after 1.5 years and 2 years and 3 years. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go and look for the data yourself. Now, that is why I'm saying, Mr. Shivakumar, if he says, let the courts decide, right? Let the courts decide.
Nobody's taking that away from him, sir. Nobody's taking away the right of courts to decide. But the point is that in cases of terror, at least this kind of politics is avoidable, is the larger point that is being made. And that's, I think, the subject of the debate. Of course, courts have to rule. Of course, police have to file their charge sheets after investigation. There is the due process of law. But when it comes to terror and acts of terror, when our police and investigators are doing their job, I think the only point that is being made here is perhaps it would be better if politicians do not chime in and in any way try and influence the law or play politics on what should be a strictly an act of the investigating agency and the court to ultimately decide on. That's a limited point we're making. I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us. Ratan Sharda, RSN Singh, Sumanth Raman, Kamru Choudhury, Sanjay Jha and Majid Haidari. Rakesh Sinha stays with us for the next debate.